Donald Trump has continued his march towards the White House by winning the new Hampshire Republican primary. Following a strong performance in Iowa, the former president secured more than 54% of the vote. His main rival, Nikki Haley, secured 43%, a stronger than expected result. They'll face off again in Nevada next month, with Trump already ahead in the polls.
Just a little note to Nikki. She's not going to win. She's not going to win.
Wow. Where there's Trump, there's also Steve Clemons. Steve, big fan, huge. It's a loss for Nikki Haley, but not as bad as expected.
Well, this is the time that Trump is probably telling the truth, because she probably isn't going to win.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
It's not going to make much of a difference, right?
Right.
Great.
Okay, thanks very much for joining us. I think...
Are you okay, Steve?
No, I think you missed the... So, Steve, I think what we're getting at is she was expected to lose by more. Is it significant that she did better than expected but still lost, or is a loss just a loss?
Look, I mean, when she ran, basically... previously in the Iowa caucuses, she got around 20%. DeSantis got around 20%. So for her in New Hampshire to be above 40 looks good to a lot of folks. But listen, you can't win by not losing that bad. This is actually a pretty big defeat, because New Hampshire and all the money she spent, this was as good as it's going to get for Nikki Haley. She's got her own home state coming up in South Carolina, and I think it's going to be really tough for her there. So I don't see a pathway for her now.
Well, Nevada is next. Do you think she is going to hang on until then?
She says she is. I mean, Donald Trump just mopped the floor with her, called her all sorts of names, continues to beat her up. And I think Nikki Haley has already come out and preemptively said she is not dropping out. She's got money set aside for Nevada and even her home state of South Carolina. But even the guy that she appointed to the Senate, Tim Scott, she put him in office, has endorsed Donald Trump. And so when you kind of look, February 8th is Nevada, February 23rd is South Carolina. It's going to be a tough couple of things. She says she's going to stay in. I guess she's a glutton for punishment.
So Joe Biden, I think, is reading the writing on the wall. He's welcomed the idea of Trump being the Republican candidate. I suppose he has to say that, given it's probably inevitable. Do you think he might actually mean it?
Well, I think it gives them clarity and begins... Look, I mean, Donald Trump is not a popular guy across most of America, but neither is Joe Biden. So you've got two very unpopular candidates running against each other, but at least Joe Biden on things like abortion can begin pinning it on Donald Trump as opposed to Nikki Haley. Because right now, for Democrats, the only winning issue they have on Donald Trump is abortion policy. And that's kind of hard, to pin on Nikki Haley, because she had a more reasonable stance on that.
All right, we'll see how it plays out, no doubt. We're talking about that a lot, I feel. Steve, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. We'll be back at it, I'm sure.